even if it's the general one that doesn't mention this prospective patient by name, I need the general one from my therapist. So for us, it's going to be like walking on a sidewalk. And I do think it is a good consideration to have it kind of like timely with the seasons and all that.
Today, we're going to talk about something that we were talking about on Tuesday that Dave then went and did, where a dinner party can turn into a marketing masterclass, or it could just be a complete debacle. It could be a waste of a couple $1,000s. I want to find out, Dave, how your marketing dinner party actually went. And of course, you're looking at it from a different perspective than I think most, which is you're in the moment trying to figure out what this sort of is. So you're there as a participant, but you're there sort of like as a diagnostician, like, hey, what is going on here? Is this an accident? Is this on purpose? So let's give the background in case people weren't listening on Tuesday, and then like how'd it go?
Yeah, for sure. So I'll try to be as efficient and concise as possible. So Manhattan Pain Medicine is the practice. It's a bunch of physicians that treat chronic pain, EDS, things like that, hypermobility, chronic pain type patients. And recently I was connected by another physical therapist to one of their physicians. I had just asked her, she had asked me about hiring and stuff, and she had just hired a therapist, and she's like, oh, do you need any help with that? Because I was helping her with something. And I was like, no, I'm good. I'm like, how about you introduce me to Dr. Seiferman? I picked one person. They have good content online. I'm like, I would like to meet it. It seemed like one of the owners and, main partners of the practice. She connected me over email. Then he looped in some communication marketing liaison person. I said, hey, can I get more information about what you guys do? I want to be able to send people your way and make sure they're the right fit. They introduced me or invited me to this event last night. So it was at Sarah Beth's in Manhattan, in like Midtown Manhattan. I knew you were going to ask me this. So there was like 4 tables of 8 chairs, so 32-ish total chairs, but it was not filled up. So it was probably like 25-ish, 23, 25-ish people. A few folks that were not providers, but like most of the people there were either, it was like 50% physical therapists, 50% physicians. They had their own physicians there. They also had other physicians and psychiatrists and other folks that they referred to. There was one chiropractor. There were 5 or so physical therapists, 5 or 6 maybe, that they refer to. They don't have any physical therapists in their practice. There was like because Jimmy and I are talking about maybe doing this type of stuff. So there was this room that was like a party room that had like, what's like the pull down, like projector thing, like the projector screen. Yeah. And it was just like provider synergy dinner. And then it was like a couple of the logos, but it went really well. I think I thrive in those environments. I know there's some folks that are introverted that like, they go to an event like that and then they leave and they go home and they're like wiped out. Maybe Tony is in that group of people. I remember that night, I got home and I was like, I already had a game plan. Like I already met a bunch of folks, got a bunch of business cards, gave a bunch of business cards. Some folks we exchanged like emails and text message, cell phones and all that right away. It was great. I had a game plan yesterday morning. I woke up. First thing I did was I'm writing handwritten notes to folks that I met with a business card slipped in, even though I had already like emailed them or texted them. It's just like now they're going to get that in a couple days. So that's just like a little bit of a masterclass tip on my side of things. But overall, it was great. They wanted to talk there was a little clinical stuff. It was like, the main physician, Dr. Seiferman, was like, hey, we treat, we all treat EDS and hypermobility and this and that. And what are some of your challenges, whatever. So there were some great things that we'll get into as you asked me some follow-up questions, but that was like pretty much it in terms of like who was there and why. But the why was specifically around collaboration and referrals, which was really cool, especially coming from physicians.
Yeah. Yeah. This is atypical, right? Because I would guess the typical is you come to me. I'm the physician. You come to me. You bring me dinner. You bring me lunch. You knock on my door. And this is why this move, in my opinion, is super smart, which is this is the app. Like, they go back to that 30 immutable laws of marketing or however many numbers it is. Rule number 1 is don't remember how many numbers are on a list, but it's usually make the small big, make the big small, make the invisible visible, and vice versa. It's just do the opposite. So this is super smart. I'm not saying it's the first time it's ever been done, but it's done so rarely that when you do it, there's some pop to it. It's purple cow-ish. So questions, gosh, I mean, how'd you feel overall? What juice worth the squeeze? Worth your time? I mean, it already feels like it was. It's a leading question.
100%. It was 6 p.m. dinner. It was like a first course and then an entree course, and then dessert was like 8:15. At that point, some people had already left at like 8:15. For me, I'm like, I already parked nearby. I already paid the New York City congestion pricing to drive into Manhattan. Yeah. By the way, this is the first time that we paid congestion pricing. We had not driven into Manhattan since whenever that started earlier this year. So I was like, I'm gonna just hang, as long as possible. Like, let's continue the conversation. Let's continue to hang out.
So I know you're being sort of funny there, but not funny because congestion pricing, no joke. But there's a tipping point. I'm going to an APTA event next week. There's going to be happy hours every night, but you have to overcome inertia. Like Dave's doing the math. Everybody you're inviting to an event, a webinar, responding to a DM or an email, or can you get on a phone call? People are doing the mental math. Like, am I going to, does it cross the tipping point of like worth it? That's why a lot of times in my job, I cold DM a ton of people to find partners to refer us practices. I say, listen, 7-minute call, too much to ask. You're probably going to know if this is a horrible idea or a brilliant idea in the first 3 minutes anyway. But this is I think this is your role. That's my DM or some variation thereof. I don't even copy and paste. I write it for each person. But what I'm getting at is you have to overcome getting to the next step, not getting married to agree to the first date. And the mental math there is like, is the juice worth the squeeze? So you were doing that how did you get the invitation for this? Was it an email?
Over email.
Yep. And then like, we don't
with people from people that I never spoke with on the phone and never met in person.
So good. I don't want you to bring it up. Just from memory, like what was the subject line or why'd you open it? Let's go with that. Why'd you open it?
So when I was mentioning, Melanie Carminati is a pelvic floor physical therapist. We had her on the show. You remember with the endometriosis symposium? So we had her on this show. We talked with her. She was asked, like, I asked, like, hey, I heard you have a therapist leaving. Do you need any assistance with like sharing my network? Cause like she's pelvic floor, like happy to share it out on whatever, Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever. I want to help her. She sent me patients. I feel indebted to Melanie. I have not referred a patient to her. She's referred a patient to me that I've had for a year, right? So I feel like I wanted to give back. I said, hey, I heard Mila is leaving. And now, long story short, she already had a role filled in with another therapist. She emailed me back and says, hey, we're good with hiring. I already had someone that was a student not too long ago. So she's starting in a few weeks. So we're all good. Thank you so much. She asked me, Dave, do you need any help with recruiting or hiring? And I go, no. But I'm like, she's asking me for if I need help with anything. So I go,
the door.
And as you guys know, like Google ads, we paid a ton earlier this year. And I'm trying to now work more on the physician referral marketing and the out-of-network physician. So I already knew I was so targeted. And I'm like, hey, can you introduce me over email to Dr. Sieferman? Like, I love their social media content. I'm looking to work on more physician marketing. So he connected me to him. I emailed him. He replied, great to meet and connect. And then he brought in, Nancy from communications and, marketing liaison. Then I said to Nancy and Sieferman over email, hey, I would love to hear a little bit more about what you guys do, trigger point injections, ketamine, that type of stuff. Like, I want to know, like, if we have complex patients and clients, like, I want to know who's like the right fit to send to you guys. So I'm trying to say, like, I'm going to try to bring value first and send people your way if I can get more information of like what you guys do and all that. And the communication marketing liaison person, Nancy, replies over email, thank you so much for thinking of us. We really appreciate, potential referrals. Oh, by the way, in, a month or whatever, we have this provider synergy dinner. Let me know if you're interested and I'll send you over the formal invite. And I'm like, let me think about it. Yes, I'm interested.
So like, if you tried to reverse engineer this, you couldn't, right? But you can reverse engineer the acts that you did, which is consistently seeking people out, or how do I help you first? She reached out, you extended an olive branch, and she of course was going to come and use the psychological idea of reciprocity, right? You helped me. How do I help you? There's a ton of those psychological levers there. The thing that I'm guessing, right, cold, would be fun to get this marketing person on the show, or I'll interview this person because it's cool to watch how people's processes work. There was an event already in the works. Yeah, there was a thing. right? So they're already doing the thing.
Good luck timing on my part with Melanie asking for an intro to them.
But you are solving her problem because you were a perfect person to put in the room. So you happened to bump into her while they had that thing. But good on them for saying, how do we get the right people in the room? You have to have the room first. You can't wait around.
Is this something that they do like monthly or biannually?
So yeah, good question. They've done other ones, but like on the Google Calendar invite for it, it said provider synergy dinner series launch. So I'm like, so like you're gonna start doing these more often. It sounds like other people had mentioned like, other events from Dr. Seiferman or whatever, and maybe they were like smaller dinners. I don't know. It seems like this, 20, 30, whatever amount of people might be like their next step, like a little bit bigger. They had some sponsors. We can get into that. Obviously, I know Jimmy wants to get into that. So it seems like they've done a little bit smaller events, but now maybe this is going to be like a formal monthly or quarterly thing where it's like, 20, 30 or more, growing over time of different providers.
Okay. So yeah, who else was there? You mentioned a screen with logos on it.
Yes.
Your logo? Was your logo on it?
No, they already had this. They already had, not yet. They already had this event set up.
That's okay.
The main, I texted you guys this in the chat. The main sponsor was like Tri-Farm Pharmacy. So cause these physicians prescribe. So, all right. So there was a pharmacy that was the main sponsor over email. Like as the emails were coming out, it was like Tri-Farm Pharmacy is the sponsor. Then you get to the event and they had the pull down projector screen and it had, Manhattan Pain Medicine as the sponsor, Tri-Farm Pharmacy, but then also like On the Mend Fitness, in-home personal training and massage for geriatric clients in Manhattan that have an injury or whatever, or they're just afraid to move or whatever with, through COVID and all that. And so that company, I spoke with that owner, Lisa Snow. She was amazing, blew me away with her energy. And they obviously service like our same type of clientele, and they're all non-rehab based. And they were a sponsor because then, by the way, they had everyone stand up one at a time, go around the room and introduce yourself, almost like a little mini pitch, which is just like finger roll, like I'm here shooting free throws, like, basically like you get a chance to say like who you are, what practice you're with, like who's your ideal client, like who do you serve.
But you don't have to be the pushy guy. They open the door for you and it's their party. So it's like, it's not a sell. It's a super smooth. Hey, hey, thank you so much for having me. Like that, right? I'm Dave. I do this. This is what I do. Happy to be here. That's an easy one, and it's quick, right? So it's like it's going to be speed. So you're paying attention, and then you're mentally noting. I'll talk to that guy. Oh, that girl. We have
exactly.
You mentioned one thing too. Was who was the person you said had a lot of energy? You loved her energy.
Lisa Snow, On the Mend. So in-home personal training in Manhattan.
It's hard to project energy online. Unless now it's the world of short form video, right? So that's easier, but then again, that's one of the most crowded places to be. How great is it a person like Lisa, who might be like on her website, I have great energy, and all her reviews say I have great energy, but like she doesn't need to say that when she's in the room with you. And that might be one of her strongest things. So like she wants to be in the room with people, right? She doesn't want to necessarily have to, tell people. It's show versus tell, which is why this dinner party type of idea is so great. If it's your bag. Tony's just sitting there like, no. Like we are describing Tony's worst Wednesday night now.
It's true. It's true. I mean, I see the value 1,000,000%. I love the idea of those things. I don't want to be the person doing those things, but that's where like somebody like Jimmy or Dave or my wife, they are the right person to go in there. But I'll say, if you think about it, you need both sides of the conversation. Like my wife always says, she married me because I'm a good listener, but then she yells at me for not talking enough. I'm like, you can't have both. You need the listener and you need the talker. I am the listener. I'm the observer. I'm going to sit back and watch. So even if you're sitting at home and you're like, oh man, I want to do this, but I'm introverted, or that's fine. Like you have a role at an event like that.
Right. So like a lot of the marketing ideas we share, like number one, we're just pitching 100 ideas and take the idea, do it, don't do it, take part of it, do it. Tony, if this party were happening in your town, I think you already tipped your hand. I'm guessing you just send someone else.
if we have somebody on the team, I'll give you guys a quick story. So when we were in Florida, when we were just starting, there was 3 of us, myself, my wife, and a young girl that we had known. I would see a person coming in with a gift because, patients love to bring gifts. Immediately, I'd be like, Kathy, Aaron, like, I would call them to come because I didn't want to be the person receiving the gift because I wasn't going to be a good, like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I would bring the girls out to do that for me. Same thing here. Like, I look at my team, who's going to be the best person for this event? I'm going to send that person out. I am rarely that person, but.
Right, but you would recognize the value in it, and then you would act accordingly. Like I remember I asked my former program director at the radio station I spent the most time with, when I got hired there, I was like his number 2, right? I remember like being there a year and being like, hey man, I gotta ask, like, why'd you hire me? Like, I was 23, I'd done internships, but only had one full-time job, and it was a pretty big station, and I was like, I don't know, man, I feel like there's a lot of people probably gunning for this job. And he was like, you were the right fit. Like, I had a this and I had a that. So I wasn't looking for the person who had like the highest, Madden score. It's not the total. I needed the right parts. And I remember just sitting back and going, oh gosh, like wow, that was so much insight. I still think of when Chris Lloyd told me that, of you're looking for the right fit. And then when we had events later on, he was pretty extroverted when he needed to be, but he was mostly an introverted California laid-back dude. And Jimmy is not a laid-back sort of dude. So he was like, when events that were perfect for me came up, I was so excited to go. And I was like, oh my gosh, I must be stealing this. No, everybody else must want to go too. No one else wanted to go, just me. And that's why I was on the team. So understanding your role there. All right. So what was the follow-up? Since this was like number 1 in this series, I mean, you're writing handwritten notes. They're going to bring you back. I mean, they'd be idiots if they didn't. What other steps are you gonna take? And then we'll get into how we steal the strategy and we do our own version of this.
So, I mean, I'm probably not on the referral list for this practice. So I had just, the Nancy who invited me, I sent her an email just this morning. So the event was what? I said Tuesday night?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Tuesday night. So I said, Adam, the PA, and Dr. Sieferman were talking about the referral list, and they don't think I was on there. Just wanted to see, like, I know you're in communications, but I don't know if this is part of your job responsibility or not. Maybe it's this other team member that I met about, nicely getting on the referral list or whatever. But yeah, I mean, what's great is the whole event now is like, I'm even leading up to it. I really was striving and trying to refer 1 or 2 patients to them even before the event, so that at the event I could say jokingly, like, there's like no free lunches, right? And there's like no free dinners, because like I know, like, you're paying for this. It makes me want to give, because I'm getting even as the event was approaching or at the event. So it's a great process to go through in terms of just building relationships and collaborating. So what else next? I mean, just more of what I'm doing. So I connected with some of these practices on Instagram, or follow them if I'm not already, and I'll start, engaging just nicely and supporting them. One of the OTs, there was an OT that I met, her practice had like 6 therapists, and she was asking me about out-of-network billing. And so yesterday morning, like, I connected her to my out-of-network billing guy, because her current biller, she's, frustrated with. And I was like, well, my guy does this, 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 and this. And she loved that. And I said, yeah, he's, happy to introduce you. And so I introduced them yesterday morning. So it's like how much goodwill, like whoever, by the way, like whoever can, I think, and I would love Jimmy and Tony's feedback on this, your guys' thoughts. I think with these events, whoever can provide the most goodwill up front, like this practice just invited us to dinner. We had free food. They hosted it. They found a place that had, comfortable, good size, centrally located. They did so much goodwill up front. Now I feel like I got to refer to them, which is exactly why they're doing the dinner, right? And reciprocity. And so now it's like, how else can I, get pelvic floor patients that we have, because we don't really do it. I have one pelvic floor therapist, female, that's downtown only, doing home visits. So how can I refer and send patients to these practices? And even if I can't, the fact that you write an email and say that you will keep them in mind for those conditions and write them a handwritten note that you're going to keep them in mind for pelvic floor, dance medicine, or Pilates, or whatever it might be, that especially the things that we don't do, just by saying, hey, I'm going to keep your mind, we're going to try to send folks your way and all that, I think is the bare minimum, right? It's so easy. Why not? Like, and I'm totally genuine about that.
It is easy for some people. And then some people, because they haven't decided this is important enough to do. Do you know what I mean? Like they haven't even done, this isn't the first thing to do if you're opening a business. It's not. You got to do some other stuff first, right? I think you'd agree. Like
I agree. There was a therapist that had just started her practice, PT, 6 weeks ago, and she was there.
Well, I'm not saying about being. I'm saying throwing the event. If this is your marketing,
of course, no, you gotta be established. Yeah,
right. You've got to have systems, right? You have to have the systems of like when you get those referrals, what are you doing with them, or you're curating relationship with Dave. I'd be interested to see if this is an internal person, marketing person, or a third party. Could be either. I don't think either would be better or worse. I'm just interested because there's some point when that you hit a tipping point when it's worth it. The juice is worth the squeeze to hire someone internally. Well, let's make this tactical now, Dave. This is real. Like. Real world event. If I said I got $1,000, Jimmy and Dave are going to do this and we're going to throw our own party. How do we do this? Like well, how much do you think that party costs? I mean, the scale of it was a lot larger. You're doing 30 people in New York City, downtown. That's a different level.
I'll tell you what, I'll call the place and say, hey, I was just at that event the other night. I want to do something similar to that.
Love it.
What's the cost here? And so here's a couple things. Like one is I can call and ask, and I can, on the next episode, if you want to do a part 3, we can touch on this briefly and find out like the cost per head or, per plate or whatever. And
previously on PT Breakfast Club, we break down. Okay, keep going.
So it was an appetizer and then an entree. Oh, also dessert. But most people left at that point, and they ordered dessert like with like raising your hands and a la carte. So it was like, the first and second course were like through like a little menu and all that, like a little party menu. Drinks were not included. If you wanted a drink, you had to go up to the bar outside of the event space in the room and go get your own drink if you wanted. So that's another way to keep costs down. So I think that's pretty savvy. Also, like if you're at an event, you're not going to want to drink more than 1 or 2. I mean, if you're drinking 3 or more, like you might be like too saucy. It depends on the person, but like that's not what it's about, obviously. So right. What else? The sponsors, like I spoke to a few of the folks that sponsors to the On the Mend Fitness, and then also one of the OT practice was the 4th sponsor, by the way. So they had like. There was the practice that hosted it. They were the one sponsor, then the pharmacy, and then the in-home fitness, and then the like some outpatient occupational therapy, hand therapy practice. So you got the budget with Athellis, but we absolutely could get other sponsors for sure that are local that want to do this.
The hard part is getting the right people in the room. You can buy the rest. And then you just have to decide where on that spectrum of how much you're going to pay. The hard part is getting the right people in the room. Because you're dealing with time and space. And once cell phones came around, time and space mattered less. But it still matters if you want in person. So I would say you and I offline will create an event, and then the next 30 days or whatever, let's throw a dinner. Who wants to come? Like, I would love to just meet people. You know me. Like, this is...
I know you said recently, I think you said in the next 45 days, if we can get folks to do this in August in New York City... Ooh, we can make it happen. We can make it happen anytime.
Yeah, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere.
Yeah.
I think we do one in New York City and we do one in Middletown, Ohio.
Ooh.
We go on the road. We go visit Tony.
Hold on. If Tony comes here, he doesn't really benefit. If I go to Ohio, how do I benefit? What benefiting is Jimmy with Athellis. Come on now.
Wait a sec. I'm throwing parties for you guys in your network. Is what I'm saying. Look at that.
In the city.
That's what I mean.
I think it's assumed that I'm going to be building this guest list. No, yes, I mean that, yes. And then Tony can, you and Tony or whatever could.
I'm just saying you come just to hang because it'd be fun and we could do one of these in the room.
Oh no, I figure we were building the guest list or with my network and we co-host it.
Yes.
I actually what they did where I was 2 nights ago. One of the physicians, Sieferman, spoke for a while, like, briefly, intermittently, kind of guiding. And then also I liked with the 4 tables, every time. So whether it was like, all right, we're going to sit down or we're going to, have appetizers. After the appetizer, you have to switch tables. You got to mix around. You got to meet everyone.
Oh, okay.
And then after the entree, all right, you got to switch tables again. You got to move around. And then it was like, I think dessert, they did it again. So we changed seats multiple times. I thought that was genius as well.
That's smart because that's enough of a prompt without being cheat. Like, was there a scavenger hunt at any point during this?
This is New York City, baby. There's no scavenger hunts. This is perfect. Chill.
Because that's the tipping point where like you can tell the person who's doing a corporate or business scavenger hunt has not ever done a scavenger hunt because you're just sitting there going, I don't want to do any of this. Like, I don't know. I'm anti scavenger hunt unless children are involved. You have to be under the age of 11 to have to be ROI positive for a scavenger hunt. Now, moving some people around, putting a fishbowl on a table I've seen with a couple of like icebreaker questions. That's sort of like actively passive, passively active, right? Moving chairs, brilliant. But, we did this kind of party in college. Again, when there's college and alcohol. Do you guys ever go to a nuts and bolts party?
No.
All right.
No.
So you go in and guys would get bolts and girls would get nut. You go to the hardware store and you get a bunch of different. I used to throw parties in college, and I know this shocks all of you, but you have to create like weird icebreakers. So you go in and you wouldn't be allowed to have any of the mixed drinks. You'd have to drink from the keg until you found your match.
Wow.
So what you'd do is, as a guy, you'd walk up to a girl and you'd be like, "Hi, I'm Jimmy," and you'd show her your bolt, and she'd have a nut. You'd see if it fit, and if it didn't, you had to take a shot. And then you have to go to a different girl. And then as soon as you found your match, then you could go to the next room of the bar. Now, this encouraged way too many bad things on college campus, but that's what the people who were at the party were looking for. But it was like a cheeky way of doing it. But know your audience, because that was fine there. But I think if you were doing a nuts and bolts party at a business marketing event, not a good idea.
So I'm sure people in the chat are thinking this, if not saying this, like it's a BNI event, really, is what it is.
BNI.
Business, networking, international. I mean, you're bringing businesses together that are appropriate to network. The main lesson that I hope therapists take away from today is like, let's bring back physician marketing. Let's bring back networking. Let's bring back, as bad as it might sound, those backdoor deals that's like, hey, I know what you need. You know what I need. Let's get together and let's make this happen. That stuff, I don't know why we got so opposed to it as a profession. People took it as an insult. I'm not going to beg for referrals. I'm not going to bring lunch. Screw you. I'm going to do whatever it takes to build a relationship with the person who's seeing 40 or 50 people a day who need my services.
Right.
Like every business in the world, you get box seats, you get free lunches, you get all these little knickknacks that the company is giving you because they want you to buy their products. I want you to send me those patients. And so let's make it cool again to network directly with physicians that would refer patients to us.
Love that.
Absolutely. Tony, have you offered any free treatment to physicians over the years? Did you ever say to the physicians or the front desk folks like, hey, if you ever have any aches and pains, like let us know, we'll stop by and treat you, complimentary, or you could stop by our office and you ever do that?
We've offered it to the support staff. We've never offered it to the physician. We've never had anybody take us up on it. It's, we've tried just about everything. I still go back to best thing that works for us. And you guys know this, but for the listeners, going with patients to follow-up appointments. In fact, the person that I just had before I jumped on, he's going to a physician visit Wednesday next week. I'm going to go meet him at the office. He's been a longtime client, self-pay client out of Naples, Florida. Like he wants that extra, experience. And I'm going to be there with him to just kind of hold his hand through seeing a non-surgical orthopedic. But no, the only thing that's ever worked for me in that regard, we do luncheons and luncheons are awesome. We've done dinners. We've done, I forget what they call it, but basically, you're the featured spotlight and you come out and we have a dinner in a nice restaurant. We get the back room. Same exact thing as Dave is describing. We didn't pay for drinks. We made sure if you want drinks, go to the bar. We covered the entree. We covered the appetizer. We try to organize who are the people there. I said, I will fill the seats, but my focus was you're the featured speaker. Dr. So-and-so come out and, give us your pitch, and then we'll help you fill your practice with the right kinds of patients. No Medicaid referrals, none of the stuff you don't want that everybody else is trying to send you. We'll get your highest reimbursing referrals coming your way. And they loved it. And it was always
ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Steven's saying he's got his oldest son back from college, and he has him dropping off eval reports, progress notes, and referral pads to every referring doc in the past 6 months. The juice is so worth the squeeze. Is this going to work or do something every time? No. Is it going to work enough to make it worth paying your kid driving around doing it? Yes.
So here's the thing. And I love Steven. We've known each other forever. I'm going to say, like, referral pads, do it. Other stuff, do it. Don't send plans of care. Because
they'll print them out, right?
You're messing up their system. Like, if you fax it, it will go straight into the EMR. If you drop a physical copy, now somebody has to scan it, and that's extra work, and nobody wants that physical copy in their hand. Now, we used to do a deal where, like, when a patient was going back, we would fax the plan of care and give them a physical copy, not with the expectation that they were going to, like, have the doctor sign it and all, just so they had it. Just so it was one touch point that it forced the patient to tell the doctor, this is the therapist I'm seeing. What were you going to say, Dave?
Well, I know you've said it many, many times. I know you're not a fan of therapists printing out the eval or the plan of care to try to get it signed or whatever. I know you know as well. They're doing this. Steven's doing this, but everyone else is doing this as a reason as to why I'm stepping into the office today. Because if I don't have something physical, like,
no reason.
Why am I here? I could have emailed it. I could have faxed it, like you said. So is that the reason, Tony, that therapists use, like, they print out the eval and they're like, hey, I'm here today because I have this printed eval, even though it might be a little more inconvenient for you, but, like, they're using that as a reason as to why they're there, right?
Yeah. It does add more work to the people behind the desk. And so there are better reasons to go in and say hello.
Yeah, don't do that. People are asking themselves 3 questions. What do you do? How does it make my life better? What do I need to do to get it? Right? So, like, are you solving a problem or are you creating more work? Do not be the creating more work. They will remember you for that. It will not be good.
Now, like, he would be the perfect guy to go in and offer, the Pilates, the gyro thing that they do. Like, he offers so many cool things beyond the scope of physical therapy that a receptionist, a billing manager, referral manager in the office, they would maybe take him up on that offer. That's what I would go in and be like, hey, you guys do such a great job. I can hear his voice in my head right now, the way he speaks, the inflections. We just want to thank you and celebrate you. Like, that's something I could see him saying, and offer that team something like that.
All he has to do is check out a couple episodes ago when I was talking about the golden ticket, and you use Vistaprint or whatever. You print them out. You get Vistaprint to send you a bunch, 50 or however many, 100, however many owners or not owners, practices, physician practices are nearby, and that's your reason, your physical reason to stop by is like, hey, I have a few of these. We're running out. This is popular. And, giving it to 1 or 2 of the front desk folks of these offices, and, may or may not have an expiration, but it says, a free Pilates, a free this, a complimentary treatment, or whatever the thing might be.
So what I'd be curious in is if you send 2 or 3 golden tickets to the doctor to say, hey, we know how hard your staff works. They're amazing. Even if you've never had interactions with them, we're giving you these 3 golden tickets to give out to your staff. Yeah. As a thank you for all the hard work that they do. You give it to the doc. The doc potentially then gives it out to his staff. He's the hero. They get the benefit. I think that would be an interesting interaction.
Oh, I can see how that would work, but then also the physician has to know you, like you, and trust you, because otherwise, if they don't know how the service delivery is for the therapy practice, then their reputation will be on the hook if there's an issue with the staff member going to your therapy practice. So I think it depends on the relationship, but I love the idea.
Yeah. Everything depends, right? I mean, like a while ago there, right? Wasn't the ultimate give like you wrote a book?
Yeah.
Right. The person I saw execute this the best in our profession was Danny McKay. Like, he did F insurance, and everybody wanted it. And he was told that's insurance is like the worst title for a book ever, but it weeded out all the people that he didn't want. He didn't want those people who were like, I'm going to tiptoe around, being in network. He's like, no, I want people who are so fed up that they're ready to take the jump. Like, and then he just like gave you the book for free. And the book was the lead into working with Danny or coming.
It's a lead magnet. It's a lead magnet. Yeah.
But the thing was, and everybody was writing books. The funny part is like the number of people who wrote books was a billion. The number of people who wanted books was 500 million. The number of people who were reading books was 10. Like people were just getting 10 pages in and they were like, let me just hire you. But that was the point. Danny's like, you could read the book and do everything in the book, or you hire me and I walk you right through the process, which is what people actually want. They want a guide. They don't want to do it. Not everybody, but a lot of people want the guide, not to be the hero.
So go back just a little bit. Go to Dan Kennedy. Go to, isn't it No BS Marketing or something like that? Like he wrote that book. Yeah, just direct response. And that was his thing. And then Danny modified it for his program, and somebody will do it in the future.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to do some steal this strategies? I was laying on my couch this morning drinking my coffee. All right. So I got a couple coming your way. Tell me what you think. A couple steal this strategy ideas this morning. This one builds instant trust. I feel like both of you are my prediction is both of you will like this. This one builds instant trust before a client ever steps foot in your clinic. And all you need is your phone. It's got to be simple. Here's what I want people to do. I want each clinician at your clinic to record a 1-minute intro video. Friendly, unscripted. You can outline it. Just give them a format, right? Because sometimes people are like, video, I don't know what I'm going to say. Just give them a format. I want it to be an introduction of who you are. These are people who are already on your schedule. The first time, this is like John Taffer's red napkin. The first time that Tony is going to be seeing the person that's coming in, part of his email sequence is, hey, here's an email with your paperwork. By the way, this is the person that you're seeing. And the sequence can be adjusted based on which therapist is going to be seeing it. Update it, I would say at least quarterly. I would play on things that were local, right? If it's winter, I want Tony in a parka. I want you standing. I'm torn. Is it in the clinic or is it somewhere local that everybody drives by? Here I am at Target on 81, like where I don't know. I would drop it in that email confirmation list. Or you could twist this same idea, reactivation. Hey, I miss you, right? You can leave it generically specific if you want.
Yeah, touch and base. How are you? Are you 100%?
Yep. The intro one, if they've never been, I want it to frame like expectations. This is our clinic, whatever. Casual, not clinical. Say their name. Like, gosh, if you had an on-site media person, could you say once a week, here's 5 people you're going to be seeing? Make it specific. That's not scalable. Dude, one of my best, I still have the feeling in my stomach when I went on my interview for the radio station I went up working for, and I walked in, my name was on a little board of like, the little stick-on letters. Welcome, Jimmy McKay. And I was like, I went to the front desk and I'm like, I don't want to brag, but I'm the guy that's on the sign. I'm your
Orange Theory does that.
Do they do that? Like when you walk in for class?
No, like when you're new.
Oh, that's so smart. Because they know, like, if you get past probably a certain number of days, you're 60% more likely to continue versus there's that tipping point. All right, so that's idea number 1. So that's the idea is if you ever wish patients show up sort of already feeling connected.
I'm going to just jump in real quick. We've been talking about this. I need to, even if it's the general one that doesn't mention this prospective patient by name, I need the general one from my therapist. So for us, it's going to be like walking on a sidewalk. And I do think it is a good consideration to have it kind of like timely with the seasons and all that. And so it can't be sending it out right now in July and my therapist is wearing a parka and it's snowing in the video. Right. So that I think makes sense. Cause otherwise like, it's going to be like weird and seem canned and, pre-recorded and all that, although it is. And so, I need to do this. There's a ton of home service companies that do this. Even, by the way, just an image, just a headshot of the technician or the therapist or whoever's coming. Yeah. Here's an image of the person. I agree. Video, way more powerful, especially for a therapist or someone who's coming into your home. So you get to kind of see and hear their tonality, their mannerisms, their behavior, all of that. I agree. Casual, not clinical. Hey, look forward to hi, this is Porz Meta. I'll be your physical therapist at Concierge Pain Relief. I heard that you have a couple things going on. I know we connected briefly over text message, and we're in the process right now of scheduling a date and time for your evaluation. Look forward to working with you. Here's my cell phone number or email or whatever. Let's talk more. And I look forward to helping you out. If you have any questions, please send those ahead of time and we'll discuss.
I got an idea for you, Dave. This is an idea on an idea.
I'm taking notes. What do you got?
There is a culture, and I don't know if this was the same way when I was younger. There is a culture about drinks in this country. And it doesn't have to be coffee. It's like anything now. Cold drinks, like specialty drinks. Like this is why Starbucks and
Are you going to say, can I pick you up anything? Can I pick you up a coffee or something on the way to your place? Is that what you're going to say?
That feels concierge to me. You know what I mean? Like my grandmother said, never, always knock with your elbows. And I was like, what does that mean? It's like always have something in your hand when you come to someone's house. It's like
for a party. Yes.
And it's like, let me just ask you this, because I know you're both the right age. When Norm walked in, what did they start doing? Norm never ordered a beer. Norm walked in, they started pouring a beer. So wouldn't it be weird? Like, hey, listen, what's something you go and get in your neighborhood, like a drink or something that you like every time? Or like I don't know, like something for less than $10 that you can bring every time that would make that person every time when you show up, just, oh gosh, here you are again. Like, I don't know. That feels like better than a stress ball or a Yeti with your name. Although a Yeti with your name on it wouldn't be a bad thing, like down the line after like 10 visits. By the way, like you could not tell them that, but in your brain, like after they've seen me 15 times, it's Yeti time, baby.
I like that. Tony, is it too forward? Based off of you and your preferences, if you had a home therapist scheduled to come to your house to see you for back pain or whatever, if the therapist says, hey, I'm going to be coming down, route whatever in Middletown, Ohio, can I grab you a Dunkin' Donuts or a Starbucks or whatever the nearby local coffee place is that too forward before ever meeting you in person?
No, I think it's awesome. I love the idea. We've talked about it. Two things that I was thinking. One is AI is going to be able to customize these, no problem. Like AI will take Dave's face, put the voice to it, turn it into a video. You can make it personalized, just like email with their name. You plug everything in. My question is, and again, I love this concept. I'm 100% for it. My question is, Jerry Durham tagged me on a LinkedIn post where somebody had said, does healthcare need to be the way it is? I wish we could put the meme in here of Michael Scott from The Office saying to, I think it's Toby, why are you the way you are? Does healthcare need to be the way it is? They wanted to say, like, can we make a liquid death kind of, experience? Can we make it different? Here's the deal. For Dave's audience, Dave's business, Dave's community, yeah, this is table stakes. This is what's expected. For me, I'm not going to lose a patient because I do this or don't do this. So it's like, what's the incentive? I'm not getting paid more. The price fixing of third-party payer forces me, if not encourages me, to do the absolute bare minimum. Like, we don't need bottled water when there's a hose out back. Go get a drink. Like, there is zero incentive for me to make a better experience. So, yeah, I love it. I want to do it. We've done it. Sarah Health has an option where you can record a video, send the link. It's there, and we're comfortable doing it. I just think from a third-party payer model where most of the profession is, it's never going to happen. There's zero reason to make the therapy experience better. It just can't be harmful.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Second idea on steal a strategy for you. I want to talk about lead generation. This one I feel like is definitely going to be for both of you. I want the type of lead generation that feels like you're talking directly to your next patient. Instead of general, I want it to feel customizably generic. Here's what I would do. You see me successful videos, I get them all the time because, like, hey, physical therapists, right? Hey, moms who do Pilates, right? The first sentence to the first 3 seconds of a video is terribly important. They call it the hook. I think not enough people run ads like that. So my suggestion is, and this is where I got the idea. There was some kid who's like a guitar player, acoustic guitar guy, and he was in my area, and I couldn't figure out, like, his videos they hooked me. He's playing at some like theater down the street in like a week. I've never heard of this guy. He must have taken an entire day to shoot this video, because what he did was he said, "Hey, I'm John Newman and I'm playing in Poughkeepsie this weekend." And he's like strumming his guitar, standing next to the Newburgh Beacon Bridge. And then he's standing next to the City Hall in Newburgh. And then he's standing at the park that everybody knows with the statue. He's showing you that he's local. He's not saying I'm coming to Poughkeepsie. He's saying I live here. This is where I'm from. And you had to sort of keep watching, because every 3.5 seconds, he just wrote one script, likely recorded it 25 times, and then just did a bunch of jump cuts of him being in a different location for the next 5 or 6 words. I want people to start recording ads that call out neighborhoods or zip codes or landmarks. Hey, South Tampa moms near Hyde Park, we're in your area now. Where are you? What do you guys do for fun around? Like, I want them to feel hyper local, and you can do this with 30 zip codes if you wanted to do it, because then you geo-fence the ads that go there, and the nary the twain shall meet. That's how it works. Like, so lean into the fact that these little devices know exactly where they are within, I think, like the geofencing with like some of those social apps are like within 2 or 3 feet. Want to know why I know this? When I was living in New York City, I'm a cyclist. I put on the spandex. I ride the skinny tire bikes. I'm doing my first ride
in Central Park, right?
I would do that, but no, I was riding. I was then told the real cyclists in New York City go across the George Washington Bridge and you're right in New Jersey. So there I am on a fall crisp morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, riding my bike across the George Washington Bridge on the sidewalk. I wasn't in traffic, but I'm around the pillars. And there's a bunch of people on city bikes in cargo shorts and a Led Zeppelin t-shirt. And I'm like, why are they up at 6:30 in the morning riding a bike across the George Washington Bridge from New York to New Jersey? Well, 5 or 6 years ago, gambling wasn't legal in New York City, but it was in New Jersey. So these guys were pedaling across on a Saturday morning, dropping all their college football bets, and then pedaling their asses back to New York City. I tell that story because the ads and those things that you can hyper localize. So why aren't you doing that? Steal that strategy, because you should be.
My only question is, I don't know that they're not doing it. You're right. Like, realtors do it here in my area. Hey, Middletown residents. And I don't know that we would see it, because it would be limited to that geography. Like, that ad is only going to people who live in that area. But if I was a mobile therapist, every time I went to a neighborhood, I would stop. I'd be in front of the neighborhood sign, like, "Hey guys, Tony Maritato here, licensed physical therapist, coming to your neighborhood. I am in Fort Bridges, Middletown, Ohio, and we're going to be working with local residents to make you whatever." I don't know if it's a barrier, insecurity, fear of talking. And if it is, you get an AI generated, character. It could be you, but it could be just a character. Like Gary Vee has V Friends, and he's creating these things. There's the Geico Gecko. Like, you can create something like that. All you want is the attention, and let people know, hey, this is a service we're providing.
I mean, like, think of some of the best marketing campaigns in the last 20 years. It was, the Geico Cavemen, and then they knew that died, so they let it go, knowing that they're going to bring that back. Probably.
I love the Cavemen. I want to do that with AI. Did you see my old lady in the curler saying the 6 weeks for therapy? Yeah.
So smart, right? I mean, Real Men of Genius. Do you guys remember Real Men of Genius? Here's the funny part. If you had Real Men of Genius or the Geico Cavemen in a meeting, it would never get made. This is why you almost need to hand sometimes creative people a pile of money and be like, burn through it, but one of those things better work. And then you have to allow them to like do stupid stuff, because like it doesn't make any sense. The third idea I have for Steal This Strategy is not an idea specifically as more of a concept or a thought process. Do you remember when Oreo said that you can still dunk in the dark? The lights went out one year at the Super Bowl, and somebody was logged into Oreo's Twitter and was given permission and authority to just say whatever they wanted. So they tweeted out, "You can, if your power's out, you can still dunk in the dark." Essentially saying Oreos still work in the dark. And it was but it had to be timed. It could not be prepared. So the Steal This Strategy is, how can you react This is what we were taught in radio. That's all radio was, man, was whatever was happening. How do I put my color on it? How do I put my do I love it or hate it? Right? Every morning when Stephen A. Smith wakes up and sees that somebody was signed or traded or whatever, broke their leg or won or lost, he decides, do I love this or hate this? There's no middle. You can't be middle in sports, right? No one's going to watch that. Well, this guy, that was a pretty good, I guess it was all right, but time will tell. No, that's for press conferences. If you want to earn attention, you have to take a stance and react. Wendy's Twitter is a great example. Wendy's Twitter would have never come out of committee, but somebody had the balls and put their career on the line to say, I'm going to roast people. It doesn't make any sense. Like the Wendy's Twitter is like savage. Look at the logo. It's this cute little girl. Maybe that's why it works, because it's so polarizing and so different. So what I would like the people to do is stop talking about yourself and start inserting yourself into situations. Wi-Fi's out. Back pain isn't. We're still open. Like something like if there's something happening in your area or to your people, how do you play off of it? But play more off of the thing and less on making it an ad. Your goal is to just become part of it. You don't have to steal it and own it. That's my third steal this strategy for today.
I love it.
Dave, are you doing any, I mean, I've seen you like short videos, you're on the street, you're out for a run, you're doing things. How often are you doing stuff where you're actually out in the neighborhood?
With a patient or for patients or
no, just anything, just you out, like maybe I know you're not doing a lot of patient care, but just out in the neighborhood, in the community, wherever you would want to generate patient referrals. Are you doing any live content for patient facing information?
No, certainly could. On my personal Instagram, I'll tag I'll take pictures of when we go out to eat and the entree if it looks good or the dessert. And I do the Alex Hormozy thing, hashtag never skip dessert. So I'll do that, but that's personal, but then it's like a story. So it's going in 24 hours. So could that be as a post on Concierge Pain Relief's account? I guess it could be. But I'm not doing video of hey, I'm here at this restaurant and we're ordering this and whatever. But although I think we go out to eat more in Brooklyn than in Manhattan, and my ideal clientele is mostly Manhattan and someone in Brooklyn. So in my neighborhood, I'm not always the full on Dave Kittle, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm a little more Tony Maritato sometimes, a little more, not reserved, but I'm not here canvassing for leads, because a lot of folks in this neighborhood or Brooklyn, they're do you take insurance? Whereas in Manhattan, it's okay.
Yeah, I wonder. So I've been obsessed with it, my face. So I've switched from watching YouTube shorts. The YouTube Shorts feed has been total garbage for me.
Oh, really?
I don't know what they did. I don't know what's going on, but I can't even watch because the recommended videos on my shorts are just trash. They're garbage. They're horrible. I've gone to Facebook Shorts because if I watch a Facebook video, I can share it with you guys more easily. And lately, I've been completely obsessed with the live feeds or people walking down Kensington Street in Philadelphia, LA, Skid Row, looking at all the homeless and the drug abuse and the stuff that's going on there. And so I'm thinking of this, there's all these guys that are hey, buddy, can I help you? What'll make your day better? I'll give you this, or I'll buy that. And I'm how can we bring some of that into what we're doing? And so for Dave, I'm if he's in Manhattan, and even if you recorded 10 clips in Manhattan, I'm I wonder what he could do at different landmarks or different places. Because I remember I went to school outside of Philadelphia. I remember Kensington. It was nothing like it is right now. But as soon as I see the whatever the train is that goes overhead, and immediately it brings me back to that time. And what Jimmy was saying, I think it's so powerful to have that visual, the auditory, all of those things. So I'm just I wonder if Dave could do that. I do stuff in my clinic constantly. So when patients are coming in, they've seen the inside of my clinic 50 times already.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's brainstorm it and figure out what we could do. The last piece of this, hang on, Jimmy. we have people local. There's a guy, I think it's called the Mullet Reviews. He's got this like old school mullet, and he goes and does restaurant reviews.
Love.
And so even something like that, like if I was going to local restaurants and I would just, if it was quiet enough and I could just set up my phone and talk a little bit, give the local restaurant some recognition while I'm feeding it to my audience. I think there's so much value in that.
One bite, you know the rules, right? Dave Portnoy and Barstool doing pizza reviews.
Yeah.
Do you know what? No way. What? No way. This is some freaking, yokel with a garage, and he's sort of handy with tools, but somebody sends him something you can do with a tool, like the quick video. They tag him in it, and then he goes, "What? You can do that? Like, no way!" And then he goes and tries it, and it doesn't work, or it does work. Like, it's this shorter form feedback loop. Like, what's funny with your friends? I'll tell you this: the idea I had for APTA, and I pitched it, and they never took it. But we know what ideas are worth. Nothing. Unless you execute. I wanted to do an ad campaign that promoted physical therapy. Here's what I wanted to do. Go to any city in the United States. Go to 15 of them. The town square, the one where everybody's walking in 50 different directions, right? Getting off the train here and walking to work and And I wanted to set up this with a bunch of cameras and a bunch of hidden microphones. This.
Yeah.
Just instead of psychiatric help, the doctor is in. I wanted a wooden sign, and I wanted it to be the physical therapist is in. And I wanted to just sit there until someone walked up and sat down and was like, my back hurts. Or like, I don't know what you do. Sit down. We're going to find out. And record that impromptu interaction. Like, Dave.
Jimmy, I need you. Dude, I need you to move down here. So like, if you're closer.
Right away.
I know, but like,
let's do this.
Let's do this.
Could you, I, and my buddy Drew shoot this in Times Square? We need a wireless microphone.
Yes, that'd be hilarious.
We need a plywood thing. I want it handwritten with a Sharpie or whatever, and the doctor is in or out, and then the physical therapist is in. And I want, like, almost that guy with the watches. You know, the guy with the watches who just sits there. He live streams and just sits there in silence until someone comes up and says, "Love your journey," and then he gives them a free watch. But people find him all over the world.
Love your journey. No, I haven't seen that.
I'll show that to you later. But this would be like, even if we sat there for 3 hours and got two good interactions. This is why I was successful in radio. I didn't know the most about music. I liked music, but I didn't love music. I waited for people to call me to request a song that I wasn't going to play the request anyway. And then I would turn the conversation into like, "What are you doing today?" And I would delete everything about the request. And I would I'd get 5 minutes into a conversation with someone who sounded playful. And then I would just play that 30 seconds. The problem is, I think most people are waiting for people to come to them. You have to give them a reason. I don't know, dude. Me, you, Drew, undercover in Times Square we could do it everywhere. Let's take the two ideas and smash them together. Do it in Times Square. Do it what's the park with the arch in the city? The arch.
Washington Square Park.
Washington Square Park. Columbus Circle. Let's go to all of these things and just do the doctor is in. And then what's next? We react. We set up. We react, and then we just document the hell out of it. We don't script it. We document the hell out of it. This will cost us $27 at Home Depot, right, to create. The three of us there for a day, and maybe we get a few crazy people. Still great content, right? Hey, an email and mental health providers have been had. And I think I got a guy for you. I don't know. And maybe some video releases, but that's it. Although I don't even know if you need a video release because it's a public place. Is there an expectation of privacy? I'll get my ChatGPT lawyer.
No,
to figure it out. I don't think you did.
Times Square, definitely not Times Square. No.
Yeah. All right. Party shots.
I'm gonna say, like, I love the localized content. So everybody seeing this should go out and shoot just one video. Somewhere local, somewhere identifiable, somewhere that people will recognize, and just be like, "Hey, Tony Maritato, physical therapist here in Mason, Ohio, downtown. If you guys are around, love to see you. Let's grab lunch at Big Jim's Diner," and just put it out there. Nobody cares. Nobody's going to see it, and if they do, it's going to resonate with them.
Yeah, if you shoot a turd video, no one watches it. No one watched it. Great.
There's a special channel for that too.
Turd videos. Dave, what do you got with your party?
TMI. Man, we'll go back to the networking, where it's a targeted event. It's where everyone can benefit, and bringing those folks together. And obviously, like, whoever host it, they typically benefit the most, or the ones that, sponsor it, and the ones that build it, or the ones that co-create the next one or assist with the next one. There's so much positive goodwill that I think will come from that one that I went to this past week, 2 days ago. And we will publicly build,
Do it.
Jimmy and I, and maybe Tony.
And we'll record
We have now just from this in the last episode, like where Jimmy's putting more stuff on my calendar. It's great. Like more work, more initiatives. I love it.
I would say the final thing is, listen, we're throwing out ideas, right? You either have a concierge clinic, you have a brick and mortar. It doesn't matter, right? These are great ideas. Pat yourself on the back that you're still listening right now after 61 minutes. You still have to do some of these things. You don't have to do all of them. You don't. Pick the one you like. Pick the one. Don't think about the best outcome. Think about the one that you're most likely to do and continue to do, and do that. Because ideas are a dime a dozen, but execution is actually where you get the payoff on this. I don't know, Dave. I mean, it feels a lot like Times Square. You sitting behind the doctor is going to be a money ball. Right? We'll get like the shots of the B-roll, the perspective shots of Times Square from the roof. And then someone just walks up and starts talking about their foot, their back, their knee, complain to me, whatever. We'll be back on Tuesday. I'll be live at the APTA Future of Rehab Therapy Summit, Future of Rehab Therapy, FORT, because Drew Contreras, a former Army physical therapist, put the event on. So he made the acronym FORT. I was the first. I was like, Drew, is that intentional? He goes, I'm glad you were the first person to pick up on that. That is in DC. If you're going, I'm also throwing a happy hour. If you would like to come, it's we rented out the roof of the APTA headquarters. It looks like the Avengers building. So if you want to come and take a look at that, overlooks the Potomac.
That's where your dudes are going.
Yeah. So come on up. We will be there on Thursday, this coming a week from today. If you want to come, there is a list. You can DM me. You don't need to be coming to the conference. So if you're in the geographic area and you're like, I'd like to have a drink on the roof, DM me though. I could probably slide a few people in.
Hey, it's Dave Kittle. Are you a healthcare business owner or physical therapy practice owner who is looking to figure out your succession plan or exit strategy? We might be able to help. And in fact, we may be interested in acquiring your practice. If you're interested, you can reach out to me. Shoot me an email at dave@conciergepainrelief.com. That's DAVE at CONCIERGE, painrelief.com. Or you can call me at any time, 646-781-8884.